So, but you were brought up in a very nice family. You were well educated. Your father was a feudal landlord.
Yeah.
You had property and land. You had a place in Kep, so you had holidays in Kep. Your father had the little Volkswagen that drove you off there. No doubt you had servants or people working for you.
That is correct, yes.
So that was your way of life all the way through, even through the general Lon years, really, because not much really changed then.
Yeah.
But from 1975, April the 17th, when Khmer Rouge came in, from those 5 years, everything went. The monarchy, the religion, the money. But what did you have left at the end of it? Because you had a nice life before. What did you have left in 1979 when the Vietnamese freed you?
When January 1979, what I have left is nothing, because
nothing, yes.
No property, no car, no
family,
no
money, no wealth,
money, and also
employment,
as well as no traveling from one city to the capital.
You had no way of traveling other than
no
walking.
car, nothing.
And what compensation were you offered? Have you been offered any compensation? That was many years ago. Has anyone tried to help you to?
For compensation here, there never been happen. Why? Because in here the government and the system, they say they don't have enough money.
Yes.
They try to do occasionally, yes, just like to give some product like food or clothes and a few money to, yes, some group of people, and
yes,
they are unable to reach out for everybody.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And besides, the financial support is very limited for them. So,
yes.
So that's what they, yes, are able to do.
So someone like yourself who came from the better class of city people and was well educated and such like, was left with nothing whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's been the case since, which is why you sell purses,
yeah,
to barangs like me on the, yeah, street.
Yeah, that is correct. Because
yes?
Because we don't have anything else. That's only job that we have left. Yeah,
yes.
Because
and you do this with your wife? Or your
mostly
wife?
my wife.
Because you met your wife in the
I met during 1994.
Yes.
94.
Yes, you were explaining how you met her through the work you were doing at that time. But yes.
How I met my wife is during 1990, after invasion of Vietnam, I should be further in countryside. I'm unable to come to the city. Even some people
yes,
they are lucky to get in Phnom Penh by their own way, their own, yes, means. However,
and of course you would have no one in Phnom Penh at that time, because your parents had left, hadn't they?
And I have no family or no relative in Phnom Penh during, yes, that time, yes, and so I decided why not stay on, continue in the countryside for a while, and with other owner of the farm, and he just asked me to do kind of work. But during that time of liberation, there's some resistance from Khmer Rouge from time to time. They use, yes, some bomb shells, yes, to each village to make us scared, so that we run away. Yeah, something like
which went on until 97 or so?
Until 80, almost until 1990, almost 1990, until 1990. Yes.
Yes.
Because the Khmer Rouge refused to surrender and refused to think that they are the one side that lost the battle. They never, yes, think that way always.
Yes. Yes.
And they keep continue from time to time irritate in the countryside,
yes, and
make us very scared and fear, and make some like irritate the village by use some bazookas bomb from, yes, their place
to the other, on the outskirts,
to the village, and also they irritated the Phnom Penh area.
Yes.
And during that time, Phnom Penh was not like now, because they have a lot of some tree bush and where the Khmer Rouge could hide
just on the
behind
outskirts
the outskirts of the town.
Yes.
They could hide and
Yes.
put on their weapon to shot,
to shoot into
strike to the Phnom Penh area from time
Yes.
to time.
aiming for
Irritate.
government buildings and
Yeah,
such like.
aiming to government building and other, and the Vietnam occupation area,
Yes.
as well as the resistance group
Yes.
building that they just move into
Yes.
to form the new government, and during
Yes.
that time the new government is under the leadership not by some like Hun Sen yet, but was under one prime minister. His name is
Oh, this
Pan
was
Pan Sơ Van.
the first government
That's
after
the first
Vietnam,
people, yeah, but-
Vietnam left.
Yeah. No, not first government in Vietnam, right? But that first, when the Vietnam still be there,
Yeah, oh, there was, yes.
and
Yes.
1981 or 82 they formed because after liberated, the one who lead the soldier was some like Heng Samrit, but after he arrived in Phnom Penh, he declared that he no longer be a soldier to liberate anymore because all had been liberated. So
Yes.
he transferred his power to the people. He said all what he
Yes.
had
Sorry,
done
what
is
was his
finished.
name?
His job. Some like Heng Samrit.
Uh-huh.
But he during that time he was a general during that
Yes.
1979-80. He
Yes.
was a general in the army
Yes.
to liberate
To liberate Cambodia.
Cambodia during that
Yes.
time with some like Hun Sen and like Ye Sim.
Yes. Can you just say a little bit about the effort you made to try to trace your family, to try to trace your parents and such like after the war?
Yeah, I during that time even I'm still in countryside. I'm just searching for my parents, my brother, sister,
Yes.
by asking local people in those areas whether they know some people like this side and make
Yes.
because I did not have photograph of them. So
No, because photographs were against the law.
yeah, well
Because you would have had to burn
the
and
Khmer
get rid
Rouge
of all the old
Khmer Rouge
photographs.
destroyed most of. However, when liberation came, they allowed everyone to get photograph, but during that time,
Yes. Oh yes.
the technology was not that good,
Yes.
not more than like used to be like now because they still starting from the scratch.
They were starting
from the scratch from bare hand. So
Yes.
they try to do whatever they be able to do, but and during that make them take a long time for them to either make photograph, make a picture,
Yes.
as well
Yes.
as
Yes.
make the film and then try
so
to
everyone was
they
getting
make by hand.
photographs
They
that
make
could
by hand, not
pass
by
on.
machine.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
make by hand, it's take long
Yes.
time to do that kind
So
of
to
work.
find your family, partly it would be word of mouth. You would be asking around.
Yes,
You
I
would be
use
passing
my-
photographs of yourself so
Oh,
that
yeah.
your family could see.
Well, I try to print a few of my photographs that I hid.
Yes.
Even I
Oh, had you hidden some? Had you?
one old photograph, but
Good.
I also I just asked
Of your
them,
parents or
Yeah,
of
of-
yourself?
just of me, my parents, I did not have it, but I just
Do you have a photograph nowadays of your parents?
I have that in the house.
You have one, good.
Yeah, but-
So, word of mouth. Were you also able to advertise through radio and newspaper
Well,
to ask
in
for
the
family?
countryside during that time, there are no radio broadcasting because
No.
mostly they are in the city like Phnom Penh only because
Yes.
there's no
And you-
countryside. They don't
Notice
have
boards?
nothing, no radio, no radio station, no any shop or anything like
Yeah.
because countryside is very poor and
Yes.
also difficult, right?
Yes.
And every time they not care about the photograph, they don't care about that kind of technology. They
Yeah.
concentrate on how to
How to
make
rice
it grow rice and harvest,
eat
how
it.
to get it, and then they ban all the part of the crops fruit
Yeah.
to that, and they got to collect all the crops, and then how to green it to make it like
And
the
that's
rice.
what they're
Yeah.
interested
That's
in, not
really
photographs.
interesting, yeah, and also how to take care of their cattle. But
Yes.
from time to time, the Khmer Rouge disturb each village of the suburb, where in each province because the reason that Khmer Rouge did that is part of strategy, say the Khmer Rouge still have power in Cambodia, not only Vietnam, even the Vietnam liberated. Yes, Khmer Rouge still have some power left.
Yes.
That's one of the show like that. That's what they irritate from village to village, and from time to time they move to near the Phnom Penh suburb, and they use a bazooka, blew it straight to the government building as well as the Vietnam occupation area. So that they don't want to show the people in the countryside that they are not the traitor, they are one of the patriotic troops, so that they could show the last mean of their last power to the Vietnam and the resistance group, that they are one of the power as well, not only Vietnam power or in resistance power, but there will still be the Khmer Rouge power still be recognized and be seen by the people from all.
You wouldn't have seen much of that when you were up in the Kampong area. What year did you finally get back to Phnom Penh, and how did you get back? Did you walk back to Phnom Penh from Kampong Thom? Was this the late 80s? Would it be?
I'm unable to walk, but also in 1990 until 91, when the new government that not elected yet, they just come to make the campaign in the village.
Yes.
And they make one of with the UNTAC support by making identification for those people to get
UNTAC support?
Yeah, like support to make identification.
UNITAC?
Yeah.
UNICEF?
Yeah. Not UNICEF, but they call it UNTAC, but part of United Nations. They call under leadership during the time, under Japanese leadership.
I see.
And they went to each village to give identification. But at the meantime, they had some refugees from Vietnam, Cambodian stay there, and some Cambodian in some Thailand border, they be allowed to get it to move in, so that they would make Cambodian popularity or totalize, so that they could give some identification before 1993 election.
What was it like, because Cambodia had closed her borders for 5 or 6 or 7 years. No one could get out, or shouldn't get out, but also no one could get in. Can you remember the first non-Khmer people coming in? A lot of these were tourists from East Europe and such like.
Besides Vietnam and resistance from 1979 all the way to 90, we saw only Russian and Vietnam and resistance group only, as well as the Eastern Europe during that time under the domination of not Russian, they call Soviet Union.
Soviet Union satellite people, yes,
that's right. They came,
but
they did not have much money, most of them, because they are communists, so how could, and besides probably they've been trained not to use money. They just come as part of like sharing part as a partner with Vietnam and Russian to say,
and the Soviet Union,
and Soviet Union to say that Soviet Union and Vietnam have their ally. They are part of the ally to the Soviet Union and Vietnam.
Yes.
So
that was the 1980s really. That was the first people that started to come back in.
And also after a while, the new government that formed after liberated under the leadership of Vietnam during that time, the name that I just told you before, his name is Pan.
He was a Vietnamese then, was
no,
he? He was one of the Khmer that had been trained in Vietnam.
Had been trained in Vietnam for administration and during that time.
Yes.
But when you talk about training administration, the training relate to communist way rather than the Western way, than the free world way. But during that time, he asked.
That was the start of the CCP, really, was it? The Communist Party.
CCP during that time.
Cambodia.
But also he asked some of Cambodians. He tried to make education very important and qualified, Then after that he got some of the Cambodian students finish high school
Yes.
and want to go to college. So during that time he requests so the Russian that to give scholarship to those
To Russian people to come in.
no, not Russian to come in. Request the Cambodian descent to Russia
Other way, yes.
like scholarship
Good,
to,
yes.
as a scholarship to get not only college degree only, but to get
Yes.
college degree as well as some kind of training skill, so that when they finish they would be able to come back to serve,
to train others.
to serve, train others in
Yes.
Cambodia, but also to serve in the government as well.
Yes, because education is a big priority in
Yes,
Vietnam,
yes.
and always has been. And one of the big priorities of Ho Chi Minh,
Yes.
educating not just men, but educating women and educating children. Really,
And the people that unfortunate
yes.
to be in school, they always give the chance to do that kind of.
So politically once the Vietnamese had moved in, they set up kind of a Vietnamese government to start with. But then you had a communist government,
yeah.
which wasn't elected. But that was leading up to the first elections in the 90s.
Yeah, but almost lead to 1990. But let me try to continue with 81, 82.
Yes,
and during
yes.
that time,
Yes.
only the Russian language and the Vietnamese language and Khmer language were allowed to be speaking or used in
No English?
Cambodia. No English, no French,
No
because
French?
if some teacher had been taught secretly in the house by Western language like English,
Yes.
French, and when the government or the system found out, they arrested that teacher and
Really?
put them on the weight scale,
Yes.
weight scale to see how many weight he is, and they find the money from, let's say if he 80 kilo
80 kilos define an $80?
not $80, but $80 they double from 80 multiplied by 2, so 160 or triple multiplied by 80 multiplied by 3
Yes.
to be 240. And during that time they have used their own currency. That the resistance group at Vietnam create the currency during that time.
Oh,
they double or triple the money of them. And also that teacher had to be put in jail for a few years
For speaking English or speaking
because
French.
part like a warning, never do that. The second one want to follow that would copy, that would be have the same example as the first one, because they do that so that they
But
don't
that wouldn't have lasted long, because I don't think many Khmer people who really wanted to learn Russian or Vietnamese even.
Well, during that time,
They spoke
they have
French and they spoke English.
some students they have decided that finish high school. They have one of a community group area that like similar like orphanage center.
Yes.
But they have that place can refer those students in that area in their center to be to the government with as long that student as the good the qualified and good one. When I say good one, they have the good grade of first grade, like they each test they got 100% of the total score. So they be sent to the government, and government make another test, and then after that the government during that time but the government find someone with the Russian. They observe to see whether those students are qualified. Then they selected among a group of the students to get the best qualification to be sent to Russia for scholarship at least 2 years, 3 years, or it depends on what the Russian allow them. The Soviet Union allow them to get it, and some of them still be there in Russia for a while until even a few that come back because they are not qualified. They've been there in Russia very cold, and they drink a lot of vodka like the Russian, adopted the Russian way of drinking. And also, they just probably not a good student. They like drop out from that college there, so they return back. And since some of them they are one of the rich family, during a period of time they have some family, they try to get themselves to emerge themselves from the countryside landlord to be the city landlord, and they get some money, so they could send the money for support. Even their children have scholarship, they still give extra money to the children to spend in Russia.
And the airfare, the
airfare back and forth. Back and forth.
Yes.
Except my wife told me about one of her brother. He went to Russia during that time because he was qualified by scholarship. But after he been there for a while, when the scholarship ended, he had to do like other regular immigrant there in Russia.
In Russia, what was it? He had to do regular.
He just to work like repair or painting in the house or repair or construction something because he got some good skill before he went out from Cambodia to Russia. He got some of that part of the skill training in Cambodia already. So he tried to do, but sometimes since when he say immigrant, the Russian during that time very restricted because the Russian they try to find illegal alien to not only deport, they put them in prison for a while, and then after that, but her brother was one of that group.
Yes.
However, after they've been out from jail, but since he's one of the qualified person, and he spoke Russian and some Vietnamese language in there too, because in Russia they use Vietnam and Russian.
Yes.
Because since during 1980 until 90, the Russian and Vietnam communists had been the very tight ally, very strong ally together. So, and then after that, and then I will continue to know how I met my wife, and how did I know that story? Because after I been 91, when UNTAC tried to gather some people from each village to prove that they are able to handle Cambodian very well.
Yes.
So that, and since they get money from international country area support them, so
for education.
Not education, for everything, education, and in the government they knew that what UNTAC or United Nations would select in 1993.
Yes.
So they have prepared all the money, and that guy named Akashi is one of the Japanese leader of United Nations during that time.
When did United Nations make their appearance in Cambodia? Was it around about 1989 or so?
Probably not 1989, but probably maybe 1989, because after mostly the peace treaty in Paris, they have a peace or a sign of all government, but only during that time.
Yes.
It's not 89. The UNTAC they did not come here yet until probably 1990 or 91 or
because these guys, when they came in, they had big money.
Yeah, they have.